look, we've got a lot of questions about how to mount the seat slider and our seat bracket kit. So I'm going to do it for you here, so you know exactly how to do it, what steps to take. So let's first of all open our box. All right. So when you get our seat mounting kit, you'll get the bar, which is the adjustment bar. We'll get the actual slider mechanism, and a bag of hardware, our seat brackets here, which we'll get to later. So the first thing we're going to do is going to undo our hardware packet, and you'll notice that it will have some 8x16 cap head bolts and a bag of washers. These are important. 4 sprung T-nuts, okay, leaf spring. Okay, so if you're building a SimLabs or an ASR rig, and you've got these leaf springs that we include, unfortunately they don't go through on the top as post-assembly, so they need to go, you need to run them through the channel and slide it through. Okay, so, but I've got some ball sprung nuts, so I'm just going to put them in from the top here, save me a bit of time. Okay, so the next step is very important. The washers that come in the kit, I like to put them in between the rail and the slider, only because it gives it a little bit of height, and also it won't damage your extrusion as much if you put it on. So, okay, so I'm just going to grab the slider now. The slider here, the mechanism, that will push up and then that will slide. Okay, so this is the right-hand side. It's going to push that up and place it on the right-hand side, right on top of that washer. And same with the left-hand side, pushing the mechanism up, sliding the rail so I've got access to the slot, and then putting that on top of the extrusion. Next, we'll grab the screws. So I'm going to put it on top there. Now, you would measure your distance and make sure that they are even. But for this exercise, I'm just going to use my eye. Okay, that looks pretty good to me. So tighten that up. Once the top are tightened, push the mechanism, slide that back. That will give you access to the rear holes. Okay, and do the same for the left-hand side. Push that slider mechanism, line up your hole, and insert. All right, so now we've got both sliders in and they're relatively even. We can use the mechanism, we're pushing it back so that they're both even now. We're going to install the bar now. Okay, so you grab the bar and then it slots in to these 2 slots like that. All right, so now that's a good connection. Okay, and I didn't have to bend that bar, but just in case your seat is wider, I'll show you what you're going to do. I'm just going to loosen this off and make it a bit wider. Okay, so now if you've noticed, now I've got a wider base, you notice that my bar now doesn't fit anymore. Okay, so what are we going to do there? Pretty simple. You're just going to grab it, do your best He-Man, Superman impression, and just go like that. All right, so now it's fatter. It's just like that. Push in, and now it fits. It works. There's no slop. Got easy sliding mechanism. Okay, so if in case you've got a wider seat, just pull that bar apart. Sometimes, if you've got a really large seat, you will need to rebend this part down, okay? Because when you pull it apart, it's going to angle. So what you then need to do is bend that back down so it's got a 90-degree joint. So when you put it on, it sits in the holes properly. But we don't need to. That's pretty good. All right. Next up is the seat brackets. So to do the seat brackets, we're going to need access to the hole. So I'm going to push the bar and the seat bracket all the way forward. Now these seat brackets, you've got a short side and a long side. Okay, it doesn't matter which way you want to put it. If you want more angle, you can put the long side up in front and the short back. Otherwise, you can put the short one on the front and the long one on the back, depending on what adjustment you want. So I know for a fact that we like to put our seats on a little bit more of an angle, so I'm going to go high side to the front. We've got our bracket. We're going to put, once again, a washer in between the rail and the seat bracket. This will give the bracket a little bit more height, and this bar won't hit that, and it'll just works for a smoother operation. Okay, so what you're going to need is now your screw and the M8 nut. So the screw comes from the bottom through the washer, and then nut on the top. We're not going to make it tight, we're just going to sit it there. Okay, and we'll do the other side on the front as well. I like to use these serrated nuts because they self-grab, and once they grab, you won't need a spanner to hold it. So now we've got both fronts done. It's going to grab the slider, push it all the way back. We've got access to the rear holes. Okay. So same process, screw, washer, nut. Screw, washer, nut. So left hand side, screw, washer. So now that's done. You've got a seat tire assembly. So I would normally put the seat on, because not all seats are flat. Okay, some are a bit bent, whatever. So I put the seat on, tighten these up first, the side screws on your seat, and then once you've got it in place, you can then get a spanner out and tighten these nuts. And what you want to do, if you come over here, you want to keep when you screw the seat in, you want to keep this as level to center as possible, okay? So probably around there, wherever your seat's going to be. I want that straight. I don't want it all the way out here, because that will just give it more flex, and it won't be a nice solid connection. So you want to put it closer to the edge, and so the seat's in line, the screws are in line with the center of those screws. And then that's it, you're done.